Okay, so honestly, I know this is kind of going to be a weird subject because I always promise myself to keep myself out of other YouTuber thingy-majigs. Although this time around, I'm not jumping in or blindfolded or trying to attack anyone or be a part of the drama at all. I mean, I learned my lesson from all that. But this one is a very specific case because, again, this ain't an attack video. It's actually a defense video for a couple of them, and I have had done some videos before as well where I defended a few things and also talked about it and explained some things about um situations. I was one who agreed with the whole YouTube needs to, change some things, which isn't going to happen. Although, of course, I didn't agree with how the person who was pushing that, the way they were pushing it in a way more violent way, if you know what I'm referring to. In fact, now he's been outcasted. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that guy's story. You probably know who I'm referring to. And of course, I always talk about, if something does kind of happen, like GP reads and such, anyone who's my online friends and such. But this one's a very interesting one because it actually is kind of close to me in some way. Not because I don't really do make these videos at all, although I was thinking about it, but it all went down the drain, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But it affected me because if you guys know me from that past in general, you know good and well that I will do whatever I can to defend people who make fan fictions. Now, granted, yes, not all fan fictions are good. Some of them are even parodies and stuff. But for the most part, believe it or not, some of these fanfics are actually is incredible. Um, and no, I'm not just referring to the stuff you think I would be usually into, the one stuff I do write myself, but also just in general, like rated, like even good ones that aren't very rated M or rated X here. Um, it is actually a case that is sort of like rated M, but it is one of those cases where even then it's not as bad, but it is a very particular situation that I want to talk about. And I know this is a very wacky video to make, but I feel like I need to do my part to double down the fact that I do love making, fan fictions, and I will support a fan fiction if as long as the author's not corrupted or anyways. But this one's a very interesting situation because it doesn't just have to do with the author of the fan fiction, though I highly doubt it will not affect them, but instead the people who reads them. And as you tell by the title, we're talking about the Diary of a Wimpy Kid fanfic video genre thing. Which is kind of funny how it first started. It first started when a YouTuber, which I don't remember their name, made fun of the 25 years later, Diary of a Kid fanfic. Little did they know, they started a literal combustion. They literally lit flames to the gasoline, and they literally caused a ultimate, like the gates of heaven to open. I'm trying my hardest not to make it sound bad because honestly, despite them making fun of the genre, it actually brought a lot of eyes to it. And nowadays, we've seen Diary of a Kid fanfic videos. And by the way, I actually recommend some of these readers, including the ones I'm going to be talking about, because they do a pretty good job with their reading, believe it or not. However, of course, there are some, kind of is towards this. If you guys know, I don't usually, reason why I do fan fictions, other than the fact that I do write them, I mostly type them in fanfiction.net, is because obviously, um, you know, there's a misconceptions of parody laws and all that. And I do know there are some things involving parody laws and stuff, and that's not what I'm thinking is only happening here. I do know it might be happening because of that, but I am super suspicious on what's going on. And even if I wasn't really a big fan fiction kind of guy, I gotta be super duper trooper mega duper honest. I think this is something that really many kind of need to look into. Even something like Moist Critical. I know that's weird to say, but the first part of this story is super duper eye raising and super duper suspicious. So, for those who don't know, one of the fiction readers, who, by the way, I actually subscribe to them and I actually have to thank them personally, which is also one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, because they're the ones who truly got me into looking at these fan fictions. I actually enjoyed their reading because they always put a funny spin on it. Is Enigma, or however you say his name, Enigma. Now, for context, I'll send the link down the description down below to both their videos. Well, I'll send one that's down below that is a video, and the other will be the other channel I'll talk about, which is easier, that being It's Not a Diary. And I'll get to the reason why in a bit, but I do recommend them. But Enigma, he basically did a video recently. He posted a video stating that he got, the usual copyright strike stuff. Now, for clarification, we all been through it. Heck, I'm actually recently kind of been through it because apparently I had to remove all my music videos, not the ones I made truly on BandLab, the other ones with, voices, which I don't mind because honestly that was going to happen sooner or later. So, whatever, I deleted them. I think I still have kind of the strike, but you know what? I'm just going to deal with it. I already did the whole strike thing, blah, blah, blah. Not a big deal. But that makes sense. That part makes sense. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is this whole situation. I cannot describe it because I'm not perfect with describing situations like this, but I truly recommend watching his video to explain things. But to make a long story super short and super sweet, there is a company that, by the way, isn't even in America. I think it was in British, or it's somewhere in Europe. I don't remember what country he said it was, but it was in Europe. And according to him, basically they contacted him to be like, hey, we just striked your video or something. And of course, according to him, he also didn't get a warning on YouTube, which is true. YouTube do not warn you at all when your videos. They sometimes do, but most of the time they don't warn you about that you're getting a copyright strike and all that bullshit. That's a real fact that I feel like they need to fix. But anyways, what happened was when he went to deal with them, they said, middle finger, motherfucker, and literally give him another copyright strike. And I wish I was joking with my exaggeration, but I'm not. He literally does say he tried to reason with them, and they just give him the middle finger and give him another copyright strike, which is, of course, knowledgeable. This has happened before. I truly believe so. It has happened before. But it really is, by the way, just douchey in some ways. Like, again, I get some companies do want to protect their product, but there's two issues with this. Number one, as you might guess of what my explanation, and again, I recommend Sigma's video on it because Sigma's video on it because he does a great job explaining it more clearly. This isn't Ambulant or however you say that company's name. This isn't Ambulant or Scholus who's doing this. For clarification, those are the two publishers for Diary of a Kid, mostly Ambulant, and it definitely ain't Jeff Kennedy, who was the author of the book. This is some random company across the world from both him and me, because side note, the other guy, he also ain't in America. He's in Jamaica. I think that's what he said he's from. And that's even more weird, to say the least, I guess, because that doesn't really make sense. And to make matters even worse, which is why I'm raising a red eye, a very big concerning eye on this, not just a red eye, but a concerning eye. I don't know why it would be red. is because, as he points out, the two videos that were removed, I won't say the title, and I won't go into too much details of it. Both of them evolves with politics. With the first major one being, of course, the fact of the matter is the major one actually, as he points out, tackles the issues involving the politics, if you know what I mean. And to the point where he jokingly like did something in the final act, which probably got him the bullseye. But hey, I get it. It's his channel, his rules, blah blah blah. Wouldn't say to do it like that, but you know. But the reason why I bring this up is, as I just stated, that's where the kind of theory is. Like, these people are doing that against his will because of the political stuff. And then, of course, then there is Nah Diary, who just today, he just posted a thing on his YouTube channel, and he just confirmed that he had to remove some of his videos because of copyright strikes as well. And I look into them, and some of them I raise eyebrows at because some of them also evolves a little bit with politics. Not a whole lot. It's definitely less than Sigma's video, but he literally did make a post about it, and that really is concerning. That is super concerning. Like, I know that it should be noted that he said, quote unquote, I'm not a conspiracist person and blah blah, and there no conspiracy, blah blah blah. Here's the thing, and this ain't offense towards him, Sigma, because believe it again, I'm trying to defend him here. This ain't a conspiracy theory. This is just a general theory, because my personal theory, and again, not a conspiracy theory, this is actual theory. I think this is the effect that's going on with online. Like, if you've been online recently, you've been known that across the pond itself, they literally have been trying to pass laws against even the entire world, not just in even British, but literally across the world, involving censorship stuff, which, you know, that is a debatable thing. I'm mostly neutral on this topic because, on one hand, I do agree with people's concerns, including this situation, because it's against freedom of speech. But on the other hand, there is the fact that we do need to be careful, because there are some things we can't show to certain people. It's not just children here. But then again, you know, I'm more leaning on the other side, because let's be real here, I wouldn't be so less neutral if the fact that they weren't making these laws bullshit. And as, let's be honest with ourselves, I too ain't a political person, but it feels like politics is involved with this shit. You can look up on many people, and I agree with some of them saying that, hey, this feels more like a political move rather than actual censorship, which is really concerning. It's really concerning, to say the least. And it's super weird, because the reason why I say this is more of a general theory than a conspiracy theory, although I do see the point of conspiracy, is, again, this is in a European country. I don't remember which one, but it's in European. So, and I don't know if Britain is the only one passing these laws, but I do feel like Europe has been also doing this as well in general. And granted, I know there is hypocrisy with it, because, yeah, those videos got nuked, but some of his others, which, by the way, is a little bit more worse, didn't get nuked, which is very interesting. So, yeah, it's very concerning, to say the least. Now, just to clarify, I know I'm comparing and putting the two together here, but I could be wrong on that end. But what I ain't wrong is, there's one thing that is the same. The fact of the matter is, people are literally, it seems like people are trying to take down a lot of Wimpy Kid fanfictions. Look, I get it. Like I said, I get protecting your property and all that. But first of all, it doesn't seem like your property, because that would be on the true creator side. Unless Jeff Kenny actually comes out and explain this situation. it's definitely not him doing it. Unless it is. It could possibly be, but I wouldn't think he'd be that really annoyed to go after many people like that. I know there is the fact that he went after another YouTuber who made the Greg is a literal madman theory, which kind of looking back at it and watching Just Stop's video on, doing a review of Diary Kid movies, by PS, go watch that as well. Pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely, he's not, Greg has mental issues, but he's not really that. It's more so of a comedy parody about how every kid's act around that age, but it's also worth noting that the reason why I wouldn't be so surprised if Jeff Kenny was doing this is because he has been going out of his way to literally nullify Greg's personality. He's trying to turn him more of a actual goody two shoes than the original bad person Greg was. Which again sort of makes sense in some ways when you think about it, but at the same time he's not doing a good job. So it wouldn't be surprising if Jeff Kenny was involved with this. But I don't think that way because Jeff Kenny is in fucking America. This company comes from Europe, so it makes zada sense at all. So I don't know what to say, honestly. This is really concerning. Again, as for the whole thing involving not just a diary or not a diary, I don't know what to say either. Like I said, some of those fan fictions weren't political, but some of them do possibly involve with politics, such as conspiracy theories, like Red Dawn or something like that. So, I don't know. This is really concerning, to say the least. All I'll say is, sooner or later, it's up to them. But I do want to put out a warning, because it's a very concerning situation that might affect other fan fictions in the end. And I know, again, it feels like I shouldn't really be talking too much about this, because at first glance, like I said, I don't make Dire Wimpy Kid fan fictions. But I do make regular fan fictions. Okay, and just to clarify, it is rated M to rated X, kind of honestly here. But I do make them myself. And yeah, mine's is more of the normal fanfiction.net. But the fact of the matter is that these people are putting out good stories that are both entertaining and somewhat actually surprisingly good is really concerning. And even if you don't like fan fictions, this is a very big concern because, as you may guess, one of the reasons why it's super hard to make a topic of this video, especially with the politics, is again, the whole problem was freedom of speech. I haven't really tackled that issue already. Like I said, this ain't a political channel. I try to literally dodge it like I'm in the Matrix involving political stuff. But in all honesty, this is really a serious concern, and I don't know if this is the after effect of that, but anyways, I do want to say the best thing you people can do, please support them. Like, they do make some very, very great videos, so please do go help them out as best you can. Again, shout out to them for making videos, especially Anemma or Simma. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, dude. Because really, this is a very serious situation that needs to be addressed. If you want a more clear explanation, again, his video down below. I got posted because why the fuck not? But anyways, this has been Floxcat. Just want to talk about it. Snapping out here. Bye-bye.